Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell so you get a notification of when we release a new video. I'm sitting today with Michael Porter. Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Yeah, morning, Robin. Very good, thank you. Feels like Easter today because it's a little bit cold.
It is a bit chilly. It's good to have you. First time in the hot seat this year. So, Michael, we've seen American bond yields go up, and there's obviously some concerns around inflation. But I'm guessing this has got more to do with moving goods around the world, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, Robin. Unfortunately, I think over the last month we've seen a sort of escalation in piracy and, I suppose piracy attacks in the Red Sea from Yemen. You know, the Houthi rebels in support of Hamas, and that's really having an impact on shipping through the Suez Canal. So, container rates from China to Rotterdam, so essentially Europe, going through the Suez Canal, have quadrupled. Gone up fivefold. Sorry, I've got my numbers wrong there, but they've gone from $1,000 per container to $5,000 per container over the course of January, over the last month. And really, if you look at, so that's really a really big concern because obviously in the last week or so, tensions have escalated there with America and Britain bombing targets in Yemen and the rebels attacking ships and things like that. So. And then we've seen Pakistan firing missiles into Iran and Iran doing this. And I think the concern about a broader war is growing every day as the region becomes more unstable. Unfortunately, at the same time, you've got a terrible... we thought we were going to have a drought this year. We've had anything but a drought this year. Yeah. They are having a drought in Central America and in Panama. And... They need water in Panama to essentially feed the canal to make sure that the canal is high enough to get the big ships through. So they've had a huge drought in Panama. There isn't enough water, and so the canal's quite low, which means that the size of the ship going through the Panama Canal is greatly reduced. You can't have the big heavy ships because there's just not enough water. So you can have smaller ships, but not the big ones. And so basically the two key canals in the world that facilitate shipping and make shipping more efficient are compromised at the moment, and so shipping rates are rising. So I don't think it's as bad as the as COVID, and I don't think we're going to see supply chain pressures to that extent. Yeah. But these things are all just bubbling under the surface a little bit, and I think, I think you talked about it with Billy last week, where markets probably got ahead of themselves in December, and in terms of the pace and the timing of interest rate cuts out of America. And I think what's happened in January is that everybody's just sobered up a little bit and looking around and saying, oh, actually, I think we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. So US bond yields have sort of retraced. I think the expectation last year was for interest rates to start falling in March. We would have said that was far too early. June is a much more realistic sort of time. Yeah. Even for us, I think May is probably a realistic time for interest rates to start falling. And so I think it's just that ebb and flow of the market just sort of settling down and reappraising. But it's not great what's happening in kind of geopolitics at the moment, because you just kind of feel that it's a tinderbox that could blow up at any second. It might simmer down, but it's concerning. Yeah.
So some of these pressures are kind of feeding through to the concerns of inflation. Inflation causes a flight to safety, which is the US 10-year Treasury yield, and that's part of the reason why we've seen the rand so weak, going over the 19.
Yeah, well, I think the dollar strengthened a lot, Robin. The dollar started to weaken towards the end of last year, as we had sort of predicted. If interest rate falls become more commonplace. And that has reversed. The dollar strengthened quite a lot again. The rand has weakened on the back of that. So that's a pretty normal reaction. The rand's got, the rand weakness has got nothing to do with what's going on here, as we always say. It's just the ebb and flow of the dollar. So the dollar's got stronger. But I think people are just concerned that obviously you have supply chain pressures. At the margin, it's inflationary because prices are going up. That's offset by the fact that there's weaker demand. So if you've got weaker demand, you're not going to push your prices up so much. So I don't think inflation is going to run away. But if you thought that inflation was coming down steadily, now the trajectory might have just changed a little bit, and then it just changes at the margin. The outlook for interest rates, markets react. They're volatile, so that's the cycle. Yeah.
We don't have time to talk about it now, but I see that Donald Trump still won't go away. So
well, I think we need an hour to talk about that and a bottle of wine.
Michael, thanks so much for giving us some insights. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and join us next time. Bye bye.